So our next, please welcome CMO High Performance Blockchain Emma Zhu to present Tackling Blockchain TPS Performance Bottleneck. So Emma has an MIA degree from Columbia University with a concentration in international financial policy. And before joining HPB, she had work experiences in McKinsey's, Young Groups, and Guotai Junan Securities, where she gained experiences in fintech market research and digital market communication. Please welcome Emma.
Hello, everyone. My name is Emma. I'm the CMO of HPB, High Performance Blockchain. Little background about myself. I am recently graduated from Columbia University with a master's degree of international affairs. Went back to China and joined Guotai Junan, one of the biggest Chinese investment bank covering fintech, precisely blockchain industry market research. And that's how I found out about HPB, this project, and got into blockchain. So today I'm going to talk about how HPB is combining both hardware and software to tackle blockchain TPS, transaction per second efficiency bottleneck. I would like to start my presentation with a brief introduction of the founder and CEO, Wang Xiaoming. He was one of the founding members of UnionPay Big Data team. About 3 years ago, he started to do research and development in blockchain technology. And he has published several books, including Ethereum Homestead Documentation into Mandarin. So throughout the year, many of the Chinese developers that we've met actually learned and benefited from the work that he has done for the Chinese blockchain developer community. So during his R&D, he identified efficiency, TPS, transaction per second bottleneck, as one of the most prominent problems for the blockchain industry. I'm sure many of you must know, but I would still like to point out. So anyone knows how many transactions per second Bitcoin can process? Yes? Yes, 7. What about Ethereum? You again. 14 or 40? 14. 40, something like that. What about EOS? Yes, okay, go ahead. Huh? Yeah. Actual 500, less than 1,000, right? And any one of you, I see many Chinese audience. Any of you know China's Single Day, also known as the online Black Friday in China? Yeah. So on November 11th, the Alibaba Group literally created the biggest online shopping festival. On that particular day, the Taobao platform has reached, on average, 350,000 transactions per second. For future e-commerce and IoT network, it must exceed this speed. Also, back in 2015, the Visa team stated that for any commercialization project, it requires a minimum of 44,000 transactions per second. So from this comparison, it is pretty obvious that there's a long way to go for any commercialization project in the blockchain industry. But this obviously didn't stop blockchain from becoming the buzzword today, precisely because of the cryptocurrency investment aspect of it. In 2017, the total number of ICO was 210, which is almost 5 times the number in 2016. And so the total market value of cryptocurrency has peaked at, I think, $800 billion in January this year, which is equal to almost 1/10 of the total gold value in the world. So what I'm saying is that blockchain technology has been primarily used for cryptocurrency investment. However, there's no mature commercialization projects in the industry yet. One of the popular application that I can think in mind is CryptoKitty. But precisely because of its popularity, it directly caused the network congestion of Ethereum platform. So the market is in need of a high concurrent platform, and this is where HPB comes in. Our solution to tackle this issue is through a unique combined architecture. This architecture combines both hardware and software. Why hardware? In the internet era, there are many professional internet servers, such as HP, Dell. In China, we have Huawei, INSPA. But there's currently no professional dedicated server for the blockchain industry yet. Our team believes that for the applications of blockchain technology require such a combined architecture to support its large-scale operations. So HBB is firstly a public chain that is built on hardware acceleration chip drives. We're also building a DApp ecosystem that is based on HBB to support any application scenarios that require high concurrent platform. So the use cases we're exploring is, for example, financial big data. We're already working with financial institutions and blockchain projects to explore this field. And in the future, because the accelerator chip is highly customizable, we can also provide solutions to support other public chains. So here are 3 features of HBB. The first is a chip-level acceleration engine. So our team proved that improvement on the efficiency on the hardware level can be significantly higher than the software level. The second feature is a deep integration of both hardware and software. We are moving all the hardware level business logic, for example, standalone computing, network concurrency, consensus algorithm onto the hardware. It is highly customizable. And instead of using a common universal server, we have a dedicated HBB server, which means lower requirement for network bandwidth, as well as lower electricity cost. The third feature is a million-level concurrent algorithm. So we talked about EOS before, and now I'm going to use EOS as an example to make a comparison with HBB. Our similarities are both projects are designed to provide million-level concurrency. And different from Ethereum, both products are free to use for individual users. Both projects are designed to have a parallel architecture to support independent applications. So what differences and improvements that HBB has done so far? EOS is working on optimization on the software level. And obviously, HBB has a combined architecture of both hardware and software. Secondly, EOS has a universal server. And as I said before, HBB has a dedicated HBB server. Last but not least, EOS has only 21 consensus nodes. And HBB has a relatively larger number of consensus nodes. And lastly, we have a BOE blockchain offload engine to support high concurrency. We launched a testnet at the beginning of April, and in early May, we already put our BOE engine into production. By the end of June, we plan to launch our mainnet. This is our GitHub. We open source our TOE code in August last year, so developers in the audience can have a look at it. And in the future, we plan to open source HBB products, both hardware and software. People really, software open source is pretty common, but you've never heard of a hardware company such as Huawei or IBM to open source their hardware. But we think blockchain is such an open source community, so we plan to move ourselves towards a completely open source position. By doing that, we plan to take our products onto landing more commercialization projects. These are our core team members. They are hardware experts from Huawei and INSPA with 10, 15 years of working experience. These are finance, marketing, DApp software developer team. Our cornerstone investors, partners, and social media channels. So like I said, we will launch our mainnet by the end of June, we plan to release our hardware distribution plan by then. So anyone who are interested, please follow us or grab me once I'm done. All right, thank you.